The blood banking industry essentially was the same. There was never enough blood. And then about 2 years ago, the perfect storm happened. For the first time in history, there was a lot of blood on the shelf. My name is Elizabeth Waltman, and I'm the Executive Director for United Blood Services, New Mexico. We serve 42 hospitals throughout New Mexico and the Four Corners region, and I've been a Vistage member since 2006. As we went into January of 2009, I felt really positive. We were putting in a number of processes and things were beginning to gel. The team was beginning to work together well, and the financials looked good, and we were all high-fiving everybody. I mean, it was a great beginning. And then February hit. And when we actually got the financials for February, it was dismal. It was like, oh my God, how are we going to deal with this? As I looked at that data, and I started running the numbers, I couldn't believe how significant the shortfall would be, over $3 million. And I can remember sitting at my desk, just the most god-awful feeling, because I knew, along with that $3 million loss in revenue, that there were people, there was equipment, there were expectations, and none of those were going to be met. It was just an awful, awful feeling. The thing that was really helpful being part of Vistage is that I had experiences that I could glean tidbits from other Vistage members. I had already done some work with my Vistage group around what would happen if you lost 5% of your revenue, or if you lost 10% of your revenue, or, God forbid, you lost 20% of your revenue. What are the things that you would do? The good thing was that I knew what had to be done. I already had a model to follow. And that's the thing that Vistage brings. By the time my Vistage meeting rolled around, my team had put together their plan. And the wonderful thing about Vistage was I could go in and I presented the plan to my Vistage members. They gave me suggestions. They asked me questions that made me think about, okay, is there a gap? Is there something missing? Is there something else that I need to look into? It was through their wisdom that gave me the courage and confidence that I needed to make the changes that I knew needed to be made. So in May of 2009, we dissected every single one of our processes looking for waste. And by the end of the year, we actually made our $1 million plus $167,000. So essentially that swing was over $4 million from what I was looking at the beginning of the year in 2009. During this time period, it was really important to have people in my corner, individuals who I knew were giving me objective feedback. They weren't worried about whether or not they were hurting my feelings. They wanted me to succeed as much as I wanted to succeed. One of the things that's important to me is to be a member of the community, to give back to the community that so selflessly gives to us so that we have an adequate blood supply. And I think the thing that Vistage does that adds to that need in me is that it puts me in contact with like individuals, with people who want to give back, people who are engaged in the community being a better place, not just their business being better, but the entire community being better.